Richmond's Shockoe Bottom is currently known for its entertainment, bars, great restaurants.
It's nice, it's historical.
And yes, it's history.
This is nice. This is Italian.
That's why Gannett Samir decided to open her wine and art gallery in the Bottom.
I hear you want to try something sweet.
However, there's one historical aspect about the area Samir was not aware of until she opened her doors in 2010.
I don't know, it just blows my mind.
Flip the page back to the 1800s when the Bottom was the second largest slave trading hub in the country, with many slave auction houses lining these streets.
I look at the window sometimes, I'm like, they used to sell slaves. That place, you know, it's like right that market.
Samir says she learned about this significant bit of history by word of mouth.
Amazing, right?
And oftentimes, she finds herself educating customers who frequent the Bottom.
They're like, this area? Really? Because they're really surprised because there is no sign for it at all.
Samir says they expect a face to be put on such an historic period, like Confederate soldiers and Arthur-Asmah who line Monument Avenue, and Bill Robinson, known as Bojangles, who represents the art and culture of Jackson Ward.
I think people do look for that tangible something, which is in the plans.
Delegate Dolores McQuinn chairs the Slave Trail Commission, started by the Richmond City Council in 1998. She says they're working to give Richmond slave history a face, but in the meantime, you have to do the legwork.
It's almost like a book is there. Either you pick up the book and you read it, or you leave it where it is.
Since the commission's inception, they've erected the Reconciliation statue, developed the slave trail, unearthed the Lumpkins jail, and prevented VCU from paving over a slave burial ground.
It makes your heart sing.
However, we wanted to know where they are heading. The slave trail remains slightly obscure. Some trail markers are in distant, not frequently traveled places. The Lumpkins jail site sits dormant. The burial ground has yet to become the park planned 2 years ago, and plans for a proposed museum have yet to be seen. Additionally, the city was writing big checks for the commission in the past, like $511,000 in 2007 and $370,000 in 2008. But between 2010 and this fiscal year, funding has not topped $10,000.
We've been really focusing how we move this whole vision for this museum forward. That's going to be extremely costly.
So in the meantime, they've stopped requesting large amounts of money from the city, which was used for those smaller projects. Instead, McQuinn says they're reaching out to businesses and setting up a fund to accept donations for the museum, which she says the city can't fully fund.
It's a shame that there's a lot of work to be done.
The chair of Virginia Union University's history department hopes they move quickly. Dr. Raymond Hilton says the Bottom's rich history has been washed away multiple times, naturally from floods and sometimes deliberately.
Many people after the war wanted to forget.
He says with burgeoning apartment buildings, the desire to build a stadium in the Bottom, and plans to make Main Street Station a welcome center, slavery may be forgotten in the Bottom once more.
You get a glass of wine.
In the meantime, Samir says she won't let that happen as she continues with her impromptu history lessons over a glass of wine.
There's a lot to talk about.
Like this glass of wine, McQuinn says it will get better with time, telling us it will take more than just work from this commission to make sure such a dark period in the city's history gets new light.
This will take just the involvement as well as just the investment of everybody to make it happen. Yeah, this is going to be monumental.